fazendo filme.
This is like the essay in some senses, but it's where, to me, performative documentaries are ones where the filmmaker is more palpably, physically present, and they make more effort to express their particular feelings and views of the world, their experience of the world. So, of the films I showed today, for example, I would say The People I Could Have Been and Maybe Am by Boris Gerets is the most performative, I think, because unlike Avosh, where you are watching a home movie and you don't really know who's actual filmmaker, is it the little boy, is it somebody, is it the father who we don't see, or who's making the film and what do they think about it? We don't know so much, but with People and that film, it's very performative in that everything we see is through his cell phone and his experience of London and meeting other people by chance, which leads to a romance with Sandrine from here, from Brazil. So I think there are other films that are even, well, like David Holtzman's Diary, which I showed yesterday, I think. That's more of an essay, but it's performative in that everything we see and hear is what David Holtzman is preoccupied by. We later learn David Holtzman is a fiction, but in the course of the film, it seems like this is what obsesses this real person, David Holtzman. So a lot of documentary filmmakers, I think, feel modest about themselves as the subject of the film. They really want the film to be about, a general subject like the environment or nuclear energy or war, or they want it to be about the person they're filming, and they don't want you thinking about them so much as what someone they're filming says. So like you said to me, you're going to edit yourself out when the viewers of this on YouTube won't hear your questions. If you were making this performatively, we would have the cameras on you as much as me, and we would be hearing as much from you as me about why these things matter and what you make of them, or about how you feel doing an interview with somebody else that you haven't met before, or so on and so forth. So it gives the filmmaker more chance to expand and express themselves, and it could be related to the essay and diary kind of traditions, and I think it's also related to minority cultures, people who come from not from the mainstream of society, but from some of the side currents that are in minorities, and if they want to have a voice, they may want to draw attention to that as a different and distinct voice. So for gay and lesbian filmmakers, in the States for African American filmmakers, for members of other ethnic minorities for whom their identity is tied to that position, being gay or African American, expressing how they see the world becomes a political act, women as well. So a lot of women filmmakers, have a more some have a more performative approach to their material. Not to become a star and a celebrity and say, I'm important, but to make us aware that they see things differently. They see things from their particular perspective, which is related to social conditions. So I think there's it goes back maybe to the 80s, in the beginnings, but I think the idea that there are multiple voices and that people can speak in a voice that is true to their specific socioeconomic and ethnic specificity, rather than try to speak in a homogeneous, I'm everybody, I'm representing everybody kind of voice, leads to a more performative style. a more first-person style, a more personal style, and as with Tarnation and a number of other films, a more imaginative and, like I was saying today about blurring fantasy and reality, more liberty in choosing how you represent yourself. Yeah.
We're done? Okay, yeah, we're done.
If we took the camera and pointed it at the other camera, you would see some of the difference, because these are digital cameras, right? And they're very tiny. You could almost put them in your pocket